Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we're going to finally talk about Chrisean Rock. Her and Blueface have been doing a lot of interviews here and there over the past few weeks on different podcasts, and the behavior pattern that we see is very disturbing on top of the little reality show that I guess that they have. And what we're seeing here is, usually, and it still happens, Blueface is getting all of the blame for being the downfall of Chrisean Rock. And people like to show all of these pictures of her and stuff like that before she met him. And she, seemed more innocent and things like that. And, they tried to say that it was Blueface that has damaged her and he treats her so badly and she's a victim of him and his abuse. But as you check out any clip, any interview that they've done, the most popular over the last couple of weeks has been them showing up on No Jumper. Have been on a couple of different podcasts, like I said before, in their show. You'll start to see a pattern of abuse that is not necessarily coming from Blueface. It's actually being directed towards him rather than him directing it towards her. So I'm going to show a clip of a part of the interview that she does with No Jumper. It's a 6-minute clip. I may interrupt it. Be aware that there's a lot of language in the clip. It's not filtered out at all. So if there are sensitive ears that don't want to hear profanity, I am warning you that there's plenty of it in this clip. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at this clip.
Fucking right here. I'm right here with you. Stop playing with me with Shark. I love you. You just talking to Shark and you trying to isolate me from that conversation. I love you. I'm sorry. You want me to be the bitch you talking about? What you talking to Shark about? I'll be that bitch. You said any other bitch. Like what? I'll be cool and I'll be quiet. I'll be cool. I'll be cool and I'll be quiet.
Now, part of what's happening here is Chrisean, as usual, Chrisean is drunk. Okay, let me come to you a little bit. As usual, Chrisean is drunk. She's an alcoholic. We can all see that. I believe that she's pregnant also in this clip. Because this was only a couple of weeks ago that she was on No Jumper. So Chrisean is currently pregnant in this clip and she's drinking. She's actually currently drinking. I don't think the other people knew that she was pregnant. And she's drinking here on the set. So she's pretty much sloppy drunk. You can hear the slurring of her words. And what we're looking at is a form of abuse that she's giving to him. He's simply answering questions. They're both at the interview. And they're being interviewed by the two individuals here. And he's answering the questions that the lady is asking him. Chrisean doesn't like these questions. And she doesn't want him to be truthful about the answer to those questions, which is classically abusive. Abusers typically, and toxic people, do not like their victims telling the truth to anybody outside of their relationship about the things that they are doing to them. They don't like that if their victim tells the truth. They don't like if the victim goes against the narrative that the abuser has given them and tried to drill into their heads. So if there is a situation where the victim is being asked something and they need to tell the truth about it, what will happen is if the abuser is there with them, they'll start gaslighting them. They'll start deflecting, they'll start moving the goalposts, and they will give underlying underhanded threats to the victim about and trying to warn them away from telling the truth or answering questions honestly about the nature, the abusive and toxic nature of their relationship. So she's gripping his face and she's saying, I'm here, you're answering these questions and stuff like that. She doesn't have a real gripe, but I'm telling you, that's the gripe. The gripe is that she doesn't want him to be honest and be candid about the type of abuse that he actually goes through with her. The underlying threat is that she's going to be mad later. And it's likely a threat of violence as well, because Chrisean has been known to bust Blueface upside the head with bottles and actually bust his head. Okay, so she's very violent. She will go there. We know that Chrisean will fight. There are plenty of videos of her fighting him. I've never seen a video where he's really just hitting and wearing her out, but she will do it to him. And Chrisean is, is a little bitty dude. She a cute little dude. So she be fighting for real when she fights. So I've kind of broken down what the abuse is, that we're actually looking at abuse at this point. So let me actually hit play again.
I'll be cool.
Like, be quiet. Why are you still talking?
Because I'm talking to you, man.
What are you talking about?
Because Daddy, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you how I feel.
So let's bring things.
Not to get hit like that.
Rock, I have a question for you.
We're trying to get to some questions here, sweetie. For real, for real.
I don't care. I don't look bad. I look like myself.
Rock, I have a question for you.
The fuck? Asking hard questions that nobody never asked. I'm right here. So I'm answering them. Stop playing. You want to be with me and
Again, she's saying these are hard questions because they require the truth. And she's like, stop playing with me. Stop answering these questions. So she's being a little bit more forward about the threats. She's now threatening him not to answer the questions. We have to learn abuse when we hear it. And men are not the only ones that abuse. Men get abused as well. And Black women are some of the chief abusers, especially these toxic hyenas like this.
She said her asking some hard ass questions. I feel that shit. She said, hold on. We're trying here, baby. But
well, I have another hard question.
Hello, babe. I'll be that bitch. Why not? You said any other bitch. Like what?
Hey, come on,
I'll
baby.
be cool. I'll be cool and I'll be quiet. Like I'll be cool.
You gotta be quiet. Why are you still talking?
Because I'm talking to you, Daddy.
What are you talking about?
Because Daddy, I'm talking to you.
yeah.
I'm talking to you how I feel.
So let's bring things.
Not to get hit like that.
Rock, I have a question for you.
We're trying to get to some questions here, sweetie. For real, for real.
I don't back in this room.
Can you please help get some help with that, please? Thank you.
I skipped forward because it seemed like the audio was not in sync or whatever. They've taken her out and you can hear, I'm going to point out what's going on.
We got security with them. They're cool. Yeah, hey, please.
Jay, fix her. Better get the security quick. Get the security quick.
Come on, we got it. Hey, we just trying to get you right, sweetie. Come on now.
Sign up in here and you ain't got the security in, bro. No, take her outside. Take her outside. Take her outside.
Is Tone around?
She off that Hennessy, man.
Take her outside. There's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk. Like, all that's gonna do is add fuel to the fucking fire.
No. No, kid.
I gotta take you. I gotta take you.
He come here, bro. What are you like? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Blue, what are you doing that for?
Josh, don't worry. Whatever it is, me and you would. It's good. Hey, Josh, how's the camera? How's the TV? Is it good?
That's gonna be
Hey, bro. Man.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing. We just watched her be abusive to him. This was psychological and verbal. Okay. She's acting out to get the attention, to draw his attention specifically, away from what they had agreed to do, which was to come and have an interview. See, most of the time, and for the last few years, especially since the toxic nature of their relationship has been made public over a few years span, everybody has blamed Blueface for Chrisean's behavior. Just like they used to blame Bobby for Whitney, but it was Whitney that was the crackhead. Everybody liked to think that Bobby got Whitney hooked on crack when it really was the other way around. She was already doing drugs when they met and got married. She was already doing that. But she had a good girl image, and so nobody wanted to believe that. Chrisean is not quite as clean and image wise as Whitney was publicly, but the same thing dynamic exists where people blame Blueface for her behavior. Everybody thinks she's the victim when the reality is she's actually not the victim. She's the perpetrator. She's the abuser in the situation. Both of them are toxic and both of them are broken, but she's the abuser in the situation. He's actually being victimized by her. He's actually being victimized by her. But because he's a man, he can't be viewed that way. No one can see him as a victim. No one sees him as a victim. They say that he's the catalyst behind her behavior. He's accused of plying her with alcohol and then pressing her buttons to make her act out and to make her abuse him. This is classic abuser talk and abuser empathy that people have that will enable behavior like that. She has zero accountability for her own actions as a grown woman. First of all, she likes drinking Hennessy because she's an alcoholic. And so that's what that is. She would get her hands on get drunk with or without Blueface. So he doesn't have to ply her with alcohol in order for her to do things. Secondly, if you've ever been a victim of abuse or you recognize abuse like that or been around people who have been abused, but particularly if you have been a victim of abuse, sometimes it's better for that person to be high or drunk because sometimes that can lessen the potency of their abuse. What it becomes, plying them with their drug of choice or their addiction of choice, actually you can become, as their abusee, you can become their enabler in that fashion because it becomes a coping mechanism for both of you. If that person operates better high or drunk, and they don't abuse you as much when they are high or drunk, you might find it in your best interest, especially if you're too broken to realize that you need to move on from that relationship to begin with. If you're broken enough to be there and accept it, what you start doing is you start giving them whatever it is that they want that's gonna lessen the blow for you. Okay? So, when I was being abused, my abuser liked drugs, and I actually liked them better when they were on drugs. And for those of you who are asking, it's not my husband. I'm not talking about him. They were on drugs, and so they were actually better. They were actually more even keel emotionally when they were high, rather than when. Now, abuse still occurred when they were high, but it was less, and it wasn't as effective. It wasn't as pointed as it was when they were sober. They didn't actually like being sober. So although I didn't supply the drug, I was glad when they went to go get the drug, because even though I hated the other effects, the immediate effect was that they would calm down because they were self-medicating. Okay. And so it becomes a coping mechanism, because what happens to the abuser, they get very spiteful when they are sober, because then they're bombarded with whatever the issues are that are the underlying core issues for them being evil-hearted and mean-spirited and being abusers, whatever it is that they're bothered by. So those thoughts and feelings actually become clearer when they are sober. They prefer to be high or drunk or whatever, so that they don't have to actually deal with and cope with what's really happening and resolve the real issues for themselves. They rather hide behind whatever the addictions are. So a lot of times the abusee becomes the enabler to the abuser's addictions in order to keep it even keeled, right? So I really wanted to point this out because this is how Black women get away with being abused. Now, what she started doing was calling blue. So women understand, just like children understand, that if they cry a certain way, then that's going to evoke empathy and that's going to evoke a protective spirit. Children learn that their mothers are going to respond to them if they cry a certain way, so they do it in order to get the attention. Okay. Women know that when we become vulnerable in those moments, or we cry, or we call for you, or we in that plaintive sort of come rescue me, I'm being harmed kind of voice, that actually is going to naturally trigger the protective spirit in a man. He's going to want to come to you. Blueface actually did come over there. She was, even though he knows that it's BS, once she started doing that, he actually gets up and goes to her. Now, he doesn't necessarily save her from what's going on, but he goes to her though. He's drawn to her. That was the response. And that's a natural response for men to do, and women know that. So she'll be the abuser, she'll be the abuser, and then she'll be the victim. So that's the gaslight game that she was playing with him. She was psychologically messing with him, and then when the staff of No Jumper, the security staff of No Jumper, was following orders to get her out of there, she became the victim, that all of these men are on her, and she wanted Blueface to protect her. This is the same person that she'll fight. This is the same person she'll go upside his head with a bottle, and has done that and has seriously harmed him. If they don't get away from each other, she gonna delete Blueface, or she gonna hurt him real bad. If they don't leave each other alone, and now they're not gonna really be able to, because she's pregnant and she's keeping it, and who knows the condition of that child. I feel sorry for that baby. Chrisean Rock does not need to be anybody's mother ever, till she's healed, if she heals. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. I also want to bring to everybody's attention that the new book is on sale right now at crimsoncure.com. You can go and get your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. You can click the link in the description box at crimsoncure.com. If you don't want to wait for the physical copy, you just want to start your feminine journey or your healing journey right now, all you have to do is go to Amazon. That link is also in the description, and you can get your book immediately and begin to enjoy. Also, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you've not. Once again, I'm your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.